Hi everyone, I'm Rino from Carpedium Movies, and today we are going to have a conversation about a film that is quite a sensation among a group of cinephiles across India today. Gaganachari, written and directed by Arun Chandu. Today we have with us Arun Chandu himself. Welcome, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. Hi. Hi, Arun.
So, for those who didn't know, Gaganachari is a Malayalam film. It was previously released in Kerala 2 weeks ago, and it had a wide release across other major cities in India yesterday. And the film is interesting because it is a blend of a lot of genres like sci-fi, mockumentary. Despite that dystopian and sci-fi setup, it is also very fun and vibe kind of film. So people are loving it. So, Arjun sir, like first thing is, where did you begin with this idea? Thing is, most aspiring filmmakers, they will have these kind of ideas at their childhood phase, like in schools. When this is the kind of stuff we think of, and when we come to the field and know the realities, we will shy away from that, and we will try to maybe make a practical drama kind of stuff. Usually, especially in Malayalam cinema, what we get is not usually this kind of sci-fi stuff. So, this idea, when did you get it exactly? Like after making your past two films, or before coming into the industry itself?
So, as far as I know, from the childhood, I am a huge sci-fi buff. I like films like Space Odyssey, Contact, the Strayer classics. Also, I like the certain books of Arthur C. Clarke, Isaac Asimov, Carl Sagan. So I used to, my upbringing was all about this fascination about space, cosmos, and everything. So in 2015, before I attempted my first movie, I tried to approach Mr. Prithviraj sir to attempt a sci-fi film called Broadcast. So it was again intended for a festival audience. It was about a true two astronauts visiting a dystopian Earth, um, where it was ecologically doomed because of a nuclear winter. So I pitched the movie to him, and he was happy to do that. But later, because of the short length of the film, it was only I kept it minimal in duration for just for the eligibility of the festival. So it was around 20-30 minutes only the duration. So maybe because of the not having a feature film length, later it was not happened. Then I moved again to the, likewise you told, I tried to cater to the mainstream film audience, and I made two films, which was again I had this tendency to lean towards. My subjects are always around conspiracy theories or maybe sci-fi or something that related to science and technology. So but after my two films are not that did not that well in the box office also. So I wanted to tell myself that at least I tried what I like to do. So I don't want it to be safe, or maybe I don't want it to create a commercial package just to escape or establish. Uh, but I wanted to do something. Um, I wanted to justice to did do justice to myself actually. That's why I did Gaganachari.
That's beautiful, sir. Like it's kind of an inspiration that aspirants should like try to stay true to their what is their calling, that kind of stuff. And you said that even the first idea, it had only 30 minutes, and you planned it for the festival. This film also, it is kind of not the usual sci-fi stuff, right? Like Kalki, they say Kalki is a uh, entry into sci-fi, but that is a big vision, that is mainstream stuff still. Again, Gaganachari is not mainstream stuff. It is also concise film. It is also um, talking in a very minimalistic way. So that kind of approach, even you said the first film you had 30 minutes idea. So how did you lean towards that kind of approach rather than going big and thinking like the usual way?
So, in our industry, basically, sci-fi science fictions are um, always communicated too complex or too loose. Actually, we always tend to go over the top by visuals or maybe the treatment. We don't can have that much of subtlety in handling themes like um, one post-apocalypse scenario, or maybe one whatever we try to do has little bit of over the top style aesthetics in our mainstream films. So I thought I should belong to the latter category, which is ex machina or maybe her or something like that. I wanted to try to have a very minimalistic, gritty approach, like a district name film. So that will also give us a very grounded kind of feel, um, which will be supporting the original aspect of the film rather than going over the top. So also it's about the using CGI in a good way actually. So in our industry, CGI is always like again goes over the top or maybe mediocre results in the mainstream film. It's always also it's disconnect from the main drama. If the CG is not good, visuals are not good, it will also disconnect us from the main plot or the drama. So I don't want to create that kind of distraction from in my film, which I can't afford absolutely. So I try to stick to the minimalism, yet again have some gritty, shaky, or trash kind of aesthetics, so that people can be related to a mockumentary films, basics of the mockumentary film.
Yeah, so that the ratio itself, like 4 is to 3 or something, was that also a decision to consider this, but to keep it under the budget, or to make a TV watching kind of experience?
It was more like I was trying to be true to the, trying to true to the medium actually. The mockumentary has, that kind of old school 35 kind of ratio, which is I was initially little skeptical because I don't have a mainstream example. My film is already having this offbeat kind of sensibility, so I don't want to be more hardcore about it. But at that time, the Snyder Cut got released actually. So we were waiting for the Snyder Cut for so many years, and once finally it's dropped, and it has a similar ratio of 4:3. And at that the release time, Snyder was at Comic Con. Snyder was saying he kept 4:3 because it's a more the film feels like more of an art artistic product rather than a commercial outcome. So Snyder was all in appreciation of the ratio because it's giving a art house kind of feel for the film. So that resonated with me actually. So me and my cinematographer instantly got the hooked with the idea, and we just converted the whole aspect of the film into majorly into forestry.
That was a great decision. Like when we enter the theater and we see this 4 to 3, starting it felt a little odd, but as the film moves, we kind of get it like this looks good in this format. And when towards the climax it expands, it just works very well at that point. Let's go full cinematic. It was everybody was shouting and at that point.
Yeah, that's a major. I also like that point. It's a very high. That scenes gives a kick for our team also.
That scenes also complement the cinematic sense. Until then it is like true to the format, and suddenly it gives the cinematic sense. Talking about the writing and the mockumentary format, uh, I think it is a difficult thing to write a mockumentary. Like people watch Office, but I don't think how many of them appreciate how difficult it would have been to write that each second of that show. Uh, Usually, so Office is like a bunch of writers. So in this film also the comedy works very well, that exchange of conversations, the chemistry, and how how did you manage the writing, like was most any of it improvised, and how much of it is on paper, stuff like that.
So we we had a initial draft of Gaganachari. It was not Gaganachari at that time. The title was different, and the whole treatment was different. It was more into like it was a film like a quiet place. It was more gory and more violent and more serious film. Yeah, again, one alien invasion story only. So initially, when I pitched it to Aju Varghese, we were staying together in the lockdown time at a production house, and he told me that, oh, this will be too much dark for the time. We should try something very lighter. Try to go polar opposite of the idea. We have a huge popular culture gold kind of film in Malayalam called Kilkam. Have you know about Kilkam? It's an old movie of Priyadarshan,
Filcom,
Mohanlal,
right?
and
Yeah, yeah.
Revati. Yeah, right. So he was telling me, Aju was telling me to, why don't you just think about a plot like instead of Revati, there is an alien in Kilkam film.
Wow.
How it will work it out?
It's actually that it strikes me now. It's,
Yeah, so it was very vague, and it was a very vague dialogue from him, not serious. We were discussing, and he was just, I got striked at that point, and later, there is a co-writer for the film. His name is Shivasai. He's also very good with this popular culture sort of thing. So initially, I developed this idea with my other friend called Rahul Menon, who is in the US actually, who is also a filmmaker. So after developing the plot in the mind and making a scene order in the mind, Shiva came to the camp, and we absolutely enjoyed writing the film because it's all about giving tribute and homage to the favorite classics of yesteryear, and also using the pop culture, immense of pop culture in Malayalam. Also, we have used slight notes in the Tamil cinema also, like in the end, Aju is asking Ganesh sir, நீங்க நல்லவரா அதா கெட்டவரா?
yeah.
So we had that kind of fun. Also, after creating the final draft, when we started shooting the film, the mockumentary gives us a kind of a flexibility to add this bites thing, no, speaking to straight to the camera, breaking the fourth wall. So while we were shooting this regular scenes, then I'll pop an idea, I'll strike an idea about what about adding a inserting a bite scene in between the scene, what I'm shooting now. So I'll discuss with the actors, how about shooting a bite scene after this, and they'll be saying that, yeah, that's a good idea. So we'll be improvising in the moment itself and creating a new bite for the camera, and we later we'll put it at the in the edit, and we'll check the thing how it goes, and how is it creating a new kind of humor there. So when it works, we'll be so happy. Like it's like a more like a very dynamic process. Even in the post production, also we try to do that because of the convenience of mockumentary. The mockumentary is very convenient in the post production also, because we have the space of adding new kind of stuff, new kind of. We can throw infographics, we can throw new cuts, we can throw anything into the film, even in the post production time also, because they have this narration of undergoing the narration of the bites now, so we can put new kind of shots or new kind of infographics to the film.
You mean the interview like sequences, asking
Yeah, right.
people infinite possibilities,
Bites.
I think, with
Yeah.
that. And that Alien Hunter, the main character, I think he resonated for me with Michael Scott a bit. Maybe because of the format, but was that an inspiration, kind of?
Movies, I was a huge fan, but I think I'm more inclined or lean towards What We Do in the Shadows of Taika Waititi, the first feature film, not the series. I'm a huge fan of Taika from his, I think from his early films, Boy, Eagle versus Shark, Hunt for the Wilder People, even What We Do in the Shadows. So what we do in the shadows was is my still my favorite film. I used to watch it in monthly or maybe that kind of revisiting happening every now and then. So I think for as a mockumentary, I had this huge admiration towards what we do in the shadows. Of course, to the office, but I like Woody Allen's Selig also, very old film, but mockumentary. And again, as an inspiration. I need to specify few movies, otherwise it will be a disrespect. I think I have this to write the social commentary and maybe the satire. I have this huge inspiration from Shatrangi Kilari from Satyajit Ray. There's a film called Shatrangi Kilari. It's a huge satire. It's very funny, and I love that film. And I try to bring few flavors of the film into Gaganachari also. Then there is another film which also helped me creating politics or maybe the how to um, create the feel of having a complex economy or a market monopoly within the constraints or within the four wall of that bunker. I try to create some brands like Lelo. There is a brand in the film called Lelo. So that's a market monopoly thing. And I had this idea from Wally. In Wally film, there is one only one company which controls everything. I got the idea from inspiration from there only. Also from Andurai's screenplay. Andurai done the screenplay for that film called In Which Annie Give It Those Ones. It's a DD1 film where Shah Rukh Khan also acted in his early ages. So that is also an inspiration for me.
It seems like you're a very pro level cinebuff. There's a lot of films you have put out. We'll try to catch up with these films, of course. And coming to the visuals and this, like the world building, you said. VFX, how much was VFX a part of it, or I could there was scenes like um, I felt like it was generated scenes, but it synced up so well with the film. I remember in Salar also they had such scenes like the Russians entering that scenes and all. Just kept it. But in Gaganachari, this kind of scenes that worked very well to show the entire idea of how the world is. So VFX and this kind of stuff, how was that worked into?
Uh, the VFX of this film is done by Meraki, a company called Meraki VFX, and they are not a bunch of guys I was subscribed all or I rented for the film. These guys are very close to me, and I'm also a VFX enthusiast. I also work with them for the process also, and they are also a part of the core group from the beginning itself. So there is no lost in translation in explaining things or making the ideas into a reality because of this huge connection in friendship between us. So while we started the film, we already aware about the 80 percentage of VFX involved in the film. It's a film with 80 percentage of CG in every scenes. So that's a fundamental thing that we have to nail. Like I said earlier, we wanted to approach in a minimalistic sense, also creating a sense of quality and international quality into the film without going over the top or maybe too flashy or too plasticky. That's why I try to bring a. I had this palette color palette idea of Blade Runner, the old Blade Runner film, and also like the grittiness of um, District 9, Europa Airport. So we had this. Time actually we from the year of 2020 mid we started sending the films to various festivals. So that's the time itself the AI got introduced to us as in a way we started to use it in a professional way also. We have this huge thanks to the AI apps like Wonder Studio, Zora AI, or maybe to the Mid Journey, because as I'm an AI enthusiast, I get early access to this kind of apps. I work also closely with them. as a part of the developing the this AI apps. So they also help me to get early access and uh, learn new stuffs also. So the whatever we put in the film actually, because we had this kind of familiarity with AI, not like, oh, there is a new technology, we should use that. That was not the approach. We had this kind of enthusiasm towards AI, which helped us into use more kind of AI technology into the field.
So the world building like stuff that we see intermittently that were generated, AI generated.
It's generative AI, part generative AI, part After Effects. Also, there is kind of film grains and film-like treatment in the DA also. So it's a part of the process. It's not just AI. It has been treated well afterwards.
Okay, okay. Talking about AI, Raghavan was a character everybody like blew everybody's mind. So I also feel that it was your AI enthusiasm had something to do with the writing of its dialogues and the way it talks and all. So was it also earlier before 2020 in the script level itself, in the film itself was
Yeah,
there?
I we did this film actually 3 years ago. So we had this kind of we were skeptical about this film. Will if the film is releasing after 3 years, there is a chance to get the theme will be get expert, or maybe the resonance will be lost. The charm also will lost. So we had this kind of skepticism about Raghavan, because in 2020 while we were returning his Alexa was a thing, and in 2024 it's become very normal, and it's a part of our life maybe. So I didn't want to again do over the top kind of thing. I want to keep it minimal. I don't want to sound it very funny. I wanted Raghavan to be a realistic, maybe an LLM or neural network model. The inspiration came from HAL 9000, the AI in Space Odyssey, also from Samantha, from her. I have huge this kind of connection with HAL 9000, because that was my username from the Yahoo Messenger period. So I wanted to use it in my film in sometime in the future, so I did it. That's it.
We can sense that like this guy he knows AI properly. Like I have also tried AI platform. So Raghavan, it's like very very close to reality, but it's also works as uh, an entertainer in the film. It was beautiful. Uh, did you have any major challenges for the film? Like most of it looks very challenging, but I'm so confused. Like, where would you have the challenges? Everywhere it seems like challenges.
Yeah, that's we have these challenges. We will be having this a Bible kind of book about the challenges of Gaganachari, but I don't want to open it, or I don't want to share it. There will be challenges when we'll be trying something new. There will be some internal conflicts or external conflicts. Internally, people were very, even in the core group, people were very skeptical, because there was no a pre there is no work we can reference it to in the regional language, or maybe in Hindi, or
Indian
in
cinema
Tamil or regional language. Or also convincing producer was a major thing, and because again there is no such kind of film exists to them to show this will come like this and everything. So there was this fundamental challenges, but later what happened was, I told you, right, it was shot 3 years ago, and I don't want to the things like the themes and maybe the cyberpunkish style to be expert. So whenever a new film comes out, I'll be like more hopeful or more destructive, because recently this Civil War came, no, A24
Yeah, yeah.
film. So I was again very hopeful, because it's also very dystopian and having this kind of a political commentary. Then another thing was the censor, because whatever you are seeing right now is little bit censored from the censor board. We have this political commentary which is slightly controversial and everything. So uh, uh, Few things are got edited and everything, but we tried to best to keep it like that.
Despite the censor, it came out very audacious. Like I'd say, it was perfectly put up film. Um, so I think that's all the questions I had. Um, Anything you wanted to add?
I wanted to add something to. I know you are from Chennai, right?
I am actually from Trivandrum only. I work at
Oh, you are from Toronto only,
yeah,
yes.
but
But
my audience they are Chennai mostly.
okay, all right. So so you might have noticed the very opening scene of Gaganachari, which is happening on the Bharat space station.
Uh, in the
Have you missed it?
I think I missed it. I was 1 minute late.
Will watch it one more time because I wanted to I have this huge solidarity towards what South India is doing against the religious polarization or maybe the extremism we are seeing right now. So I say the unity of the people here in South. I wanted to give a homage or maybe kind of a tribute to the love and harmony we have as a community, as like South Indians. So this scene, the first opening scene of Gaganachari start with a Tamil guy and Malayali guy who are both are astronauts doing the maintenance work in Bharat space station and complaining about the sambar and idli which cooked by North Indians and not having any kind of taste. So yeah, um, we have this kind of identity which is lately, we identify it as a kind of a unity and also very unique to South India. I also want to give tribute to such kind of existence of, our kind of thing. So yeah, I want to create more movies about the geopolitics of our southwest side and also about the subcontinent. If the now the film is working really well with the people, I wanted to create more stories about the climate change or maybe again the geopolitics. So I hope there will be a niche audience for that also.
Yeah, I heard the film is working well in other states as well. Like it made it to the favorite list of many people from North also. So, and the stuff you said, it's intelligent and impressive to integrate it into this kind of a film. And with the next the universe that you are building, will it be the same kind of treatment? Uh,
Actually, I we wrote the film Maniyan Chittapan. We first wrote Maniyan Chittapan only. Then only we wrote Gaganachari.
wow,
Maniyan Chittapan is huge in terms of in the scale, or also we needed such kind of a hero to play Maniyan
uh,
Chittapan. So we were waiting for that, and I think it's more inclined towards my favorite show, Rick and Morty. Also, the Malayalam film Manu Uncle, maybe a bit of Doctor Strange. So it's that kind of a film where a mad scientist doing some crazy shit about in cosmos and everything. So yeah, looking
okay,
forward. So
very
excited to
very
do that.
excited. We are very excited as well for that. Yeah. So, summing up, this was a very interesting and inspiring session that we had. Like you talked about the time and the complexities that was there, and how discovering yourself was a major part of starting the idea of this film and starting this film. And we definitely we should hear our own voice when making films and overcome these challenges. Wishing you all the luck, sir. Like we are excited for the universe as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.